Hello, that was the wrong cam. Let me switch this sort of. No. Huh. This isn't working. Anyway, let me open. Just in case something interesting happens on Twitch, like a new follower or something. I'm gonna open it on my phone. Because even though I have OBS open on my screen, like right in front of me, I want to make sure I don't miss anything, you know? There we go. Okay, so I'm very excited because I finally figured out how to do this thing that I've been trying to do forever now. In other words, I caved and I finally watched the tutorial. Let me try to figure this out. Hold on. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. Never mind, that doesn't want to work. Then just switch into this mode. We're playing Mario Kart. I'm so happy that I can just stream Nintendo now. Specifically, the problem I was having was getting the game audio to work so you could actually hear it, because like for those who know, I have streamed Mario Kart technically before, because I did a Roblox store stream, but because I knew I'd die a million times, I also had Mario Kart ready to play for, so I don't just have to spectate and my viewers have something to watch when I'm dead. The problem was just that there was no audio when it was only Mario Kart, and I figured out how to fix it. Or like I said, I watched a tutorial. And the other problem was, like, the one way I knew how to do it, I couldn't hear it because I didn't know that audio control was a thing. I thought everyone just used their headphones in their Switch, because it just kind of made sense to me. But then I tried doing that and you couldn't hear any of the gameplay sounds. So yeah, let me turn this off, because I don't think I need to explain that Mario Kart has some good music. I'm just so excited I can actually like live stream playing Mario Kart. Of course. The very first stream, immediately problem. There it is. But I'm just gonna play Mario Kart online. This is technically a test stream. This is just me figuring it out, seeing if it works, technically.
Mario Kart!
I'm using the word technically very loosely, but... Ah! I'm so excited. By the way, I'm playing with Pro Controller, in case anyone's wondering. If you ever plan on getting a Switch, and you're wondering if it's worth it, do get one of these. Joy-Cons break quickly. This thing doesn't break that quickly, and it's also just a really good controller. So unless you use your Switch very casually, like if you actually like play it often, and with often I mean like more than once a month, it's definitely worth getting a Pro Controller. I'm doing just normal online. Oh shit, wait a second, there we go. I'll go regional. Should be fine. Yeah, it's also easy on my internet. Yeah, normally I play with Dry Bones, but they did just add Kamek, so of course I'm going to use them. I don't really have a logic to my cart usage, like which carts I use. I just kind of use what looks good in my opinion. So there's no like science behind it. I genuinely just think that looks nicer. Oh shit. Okay, I thought I crashed for a second. You don't understand how hyped I am for this. Like, I've been looking forward to this. I can make Nintendo content now. Like, normal videos and everything. Okay, it's only DLC tracks. That's a shame. As much as I like the fact that there's like new tracks and all, the DLC tracks, a lot of them aren't great. Especially the recent one. Like, Wave 1 and the most recent wave were the worst ones in my opinion. Probably, like, Wave 2 is probably worse than the recent one, Wave 5. It's just that because Wave 4 was actually like almost on par with the base game, having Wave 5 be on par with Wave 2 was very disappointing. But yeah, what are you gonna do about it? There's unfortunately nothing you can do. There's a slight input delay I'm noticing. It's fine. It's not because of the controller or the Switch, it's because of where I'm looking. Because I'm playing this over OBS. It's still playable, like I'm doing pretty much everything I want to do. It's just like, I don't know if it's a low frame rate thing, or if it's or maybe I just got used to playing high FPS games because I've been playing more on my Xbox One recently, and like on my PC, where specifically Minecraft, which I play at like 100 FPS. So it could just be that my eyes need to get used to 30 FPS for a second, but I doubt that that's the problem. I think it might just be the OBS. Because the camera is fine, it's just like a small little... It could just be that my capture card uses 24 FPS and my eyes aren't used to seeing gameplay at that such a frame rate. That's very likely, and most likely the case. Jesus Christ. That had nothing to do with the frame rate, that was just me being dog water. Okay, that can't go that way. I haven't played Mario Kart in a while. The last time I played was like the week where... Actually I played Mario Kart 7 recently, but that won't help me here. The last time I played Mario Kart 8 was the week that the Wave 5 courses were released. So I genuinely, like, I'm out of practice, okay? This is normally like one of the games that I'm actually like semi-good at. So I should perform okay in this. But yeah. It's the minute I look away for a second, like I look towards the chat where I check to see if the lighting in my face cam is fine. And then like the next thing I know, I'm crashing into a wall. But yeah, I'm just very happy that they finally added Kamek. Because for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure most people know this by now. But in case you don't, Kamek was originally supposed to be a character back in Mario Kart 64, which was the second ever Mario Kart game. But he was scrapped and replaced with Wario? It was either Wario or Donkey Kong, I'm pretty sure it was Wario. Yeah, he was scrapped and replaced with Wario. And yeah, it was Wario because DK Jr. was replaced with regular DK. Ooh. Do I go Waluigi Pinball or Cooper C? I'm gonna go for Waluigi Pinball. But so, because he's been replaced in that game essentially, he never came back. Like, he just never reappeared in any other Mario Kart game, which is unfortunate. But now they finally added him. Well, I guess he was in Mario Kart Tour, which in my head doesn't count as a spin-off to me. But I don't know how official Nintendo sees Mario Kart Tour to be. Because a lot of the boosted course tracks are from Tour, and also just pretty much all of them also released on Tour. So I don't know if Nintendo sees Mario Kart Tour as Mario Kart 9, or if it's just another Mario Kart side project to them. Like, as far as I know, Mario Kart Tour could just be their mobile Mario Kart game, and like an official part of the Mario Kart series. Because that's what Mario Kart Run is to them. As far as they're concerned, Mario Kart Run, Super Mario Run, is an official Mario game. Which I feel like most people would not consider Super Mario Run to be an official like mainline Mario game. I feel like a lot of us consider it to just be like a mobile side game. Like nothing along the lines of like the new Super Mario Bros. Games or like Mario Odyssey or anything. But officially, according to Nintendo, it's official like mainline Mario game. But they also count Yoshi's Island. So I don't know how like agreeable their list of the mainline Mario games is. I mean, what does Nintendo know anyway? But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. The only way we'll find out is when inevitably the next Mario Kart game releases, which will most likely be with the next console, because I doubt that they'll just make another re-release Mario Kart 8 again. I think the only reason they re-released Mario Kart 8 is because of how much work went into Mario Kart 8, but like not many people got it, because not many people owned a Wii U. Like more people owned Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart DS than people have owned a Wii U. So like a lot of people just never got to play it. So in my head it always made sense that they re-released Mario Kart 8 and just had that be the main Mario Kart game of the Switch, because they want to get their money's worth from it. Like, it makes sense in my head. I also think that it makes sense that that's why so many Wii U games just re-released on the Switch. Like, especially as someone who didn't have a Wii U, it doesn't seem that much of a problem to me. But I can understand how it's annoying for Wii U players to be like, okay, cool, that was just a complete waste of time owning the Wii U, which is fair. I understand how that's like an annoying thing to happen. But yeah, so every time people were like, oh, when's the Mario Kart 9 releasing? In my head, Mario Kart 9 was never going to release on the Switch, because it was so obvious to me that Mario Kart 8 is supposed to be, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart. That was so obvious to me. But I guess I was thinking too logical, because a lot of people are also just like bored of Mario Kart, because a lot of people just like look at the release dates of Mario Kart and they're like, well, between DS and Mario Kart Wii there's like 2 years only, and between DS and Mario Kart 7 there's only 3 years, and there's only 3 years between Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8. And like, well, that's true. They also released like new consoles every 3 years back then, like every 3-4 years. Like the GameCube released the same year as the Game Boy Advance, and 3 years before the DS. And then the Wii released 2 years after the DS. Like there was just a lot of video game platforms releasing back then, which isn't really the case anymore, because there's no real reason to. like in my head, the PS5 and the Xbox 360, legit, they like the Xbox Series, they genuinely, they could just be the consoles for a while, until there's like an actual like reason to upgrade from them. I genuinely don't see a reason for it to happen anytime in the future, because every single time so far, there's, well, except for maybe this time, but like there's always been like a reason to upgrade consoles. Like going from, except for like Nintendo, I guess, because Nintendo's just doing different gimmicks every time. But like going from the like PlayStation 1 to the PS2, that's a massive difference in technology in those two consoles. And the same with the PS2 and the PS3, like there's a massive difference. In my opinion, going from PS2 and classic Xbox to the PS3 and Xbox 360, in my opinion, it's like the biggest jump in gaming. Technically not really, but like the most noticeable one. Because like, just look at like GTA San Andreas and then GTA 5. Yes, GTA 5 was leagues ahead of its time. Like I think even now, it still looks, it has better graphics than a lot of games that release these days. But and like GTA San Andreas had like the default good graphics all the time. But still, I still think it's a good comparison to make, especially because GTA 5 on Xbox 360 and on like Xbox One, there is like a noticeable difference between the two. So you can't even have the argument of like, oh, it's been made for Xbox One, because it probably was made with the new consoles in mind, but there's still a noticeable, visible difference between the legacy consoles and the ones before that in graphics. And like Nintendo technically also released consoles at the same time, but like originally for the same reasons, just like going from 8-bit to 16-bit back like when they went from NES to SNES, and then from 2D to 3D with the N64, and then from N64 to the GameCube was just overall like upgrade, because you can tell the difference between an N64 game and a GameCube game. Like it's jarring. The GameCube and Wii weren't that different power-wise, but the Wii just had so many different things to it. Like the Wii was just a weird console, if you think about it. I know that the Wii just seems normal to us because of how much of a success it was. And like it's just normal, especially for like people like me who grew up with it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a Nintendo Wii. But if you think about it logically for a second, back in like 2006, you probably thought Nintendo was smoking crack when they announced the Wii, because like that was like when back in the day when people were still like, oh, this console has better tech, so it has to be a better console. But Nintendo just kind of went, well, we have Mario, so that was like the first time that a console was like, fuck technological development, let's just make a fun console and make games that are perfect for that console. And that's, but like back, Jesus Christ, I'm terrible. When that happens, because that was like the first time it happened, it was such a unique thing. Like that was unheard of for a brand new console to only be slightly better than its previous version. Which like by 2 days, today it's like normal, because to be honest, PS4 Pro, PS5, there's really not that noticeable of a difference. But if you go But like back in the day, like back in like 2006, a lot of I'm wondering how many people thought, okay, that's it for Nintendo, because like their sales were going down anyway. Like they genuinely like they almost went bankrupt during the GameCube time, I think. Because I don't know how much the GBA was helping them out, because people didn't really buy GBA games. Like if you look at like yes, the GBA was very successful, but the games on it weren't necessarily. Unlike the 3DS, which helped them get through the Wii U times. Because first of all, the people that were on the Wii U actually bought a lot of games. Like I think if you go by like if you divide like the amount of sales the console has by like the average like big game Nintendo game in sales, I think the Wii U might be the game where the highest majority of owners bought games for it. And it makes sense because like 80% of Wii U owners were hardcore Nintendo fans. So it does make sense. But like the 3DS wasn't as successful as the GBA, but like the best-selling 3DS games seem to be better selling than the best-selling GBA games. So I feel like the 3DS helped them get through the Wii U times better than the GBA helped them get through GameCube times. Especially considering like the DS released just like a little after, and then the DS like became to this day the most successful Nintendo video game platform. Well, give it 2 years, the Switch might. I think the Switch is the only console since like I think the DS and the Nintendo Switch were the only two consoles to ever even have a chance of taking the throne from the PS2 as like the most successful gaming console of all time. Cause like, but it's weird. I feel like I know everyone I know owns a DS, but it also feels like no one I know owns a Switch. But that's just because like most of my friends aren't necessarily that into Nintendo, or like, but like they were as a kid, so like they had a DS because they were kids, but now they prefer adult games like Call of Duty. That's a joke. I don't think either of them are like that. Like I even think like Apollo wants to have a Switch. I just don't think he wants to have to save up for it. But yeah, and I think, but if you're wondering like if it's still worth buying a Switch because the Switch has been out for so long, there's still actively games releasing for it, and like there's still a fuck ton releasing towards the holiday times. So I genuinely think until Nintendo announces that there's a new console coming, it's always going to be worth buying their newest console. Except for maybe the Wii U, but like that was a very different time. No one wanted one. So like if you're wondering, hey, is the Switch worth it? Still, like, is it worth getting a Switch if the next console's probably around the corner? And like here's the thing with the Switch, the next console for Nintendo. It's most likely gonna be another Nintendo Switch. And it's most likely going to be backwards compatible. Like, if it isn't backwards compatible with the normal Switch, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot there. But also, if they do that, you're probably thinking, oh, cool, they'll just continue updating Mario Kart 8 then. Instead of making Mario Kart 9. But I don't think that will be the case. I think it'd be really smart for the next Nintendo console to release with Mario Kart, like to have Mario Kart 9 be like the launch game with it. But yeah, I think that the shit. Sorry, I just knocked over a bunch of stuff. I genuinely think that the smartest thing for Nintendo to do is to stick with the hybrid system, to stick with the Nintendo Switch thing, because like no one's even trying to take that market share away from them. Jesus Christ. Sorry, the thing where I put my phone so I can like see the chat and shit. There we go. I think Nintendo should stick to the Nintendo Switch system that they have going on. And like if they just also don't give it a stupid name. Because the big problem with the Wii U was like obviously they were gonna market around the tablet because that was the selling point. But the problem was that all the marketing was about the tablet, and the name was Wii U and they referred to it as the Wii U gamepad. So it's very likely, like I think this is like the main reason why the Wii U failed. People thought a lot of people probably thought that the Wii U was just a gamepad to go with your Wii. And by the time they figured out there was a new console, they didn't care anymore. Because like Wii games were still releasing like in 2019. Like they kept that console going. Like I genuinely like think that if Nintendo does do a Nintendo Switch, a new one, a sequel to the Switch, they shouldn't give it a stupid name. Because like the 3DS also had a stupid name, but it was still like distinct enough, and the marketing made it, at least after a year, like after a while the marketing made it clear, hey, this is a better DS with brand new games, brand new features, it's a completely new console. It's a sequel to the DS. Like it was way more obvious going by the marketing of the 3DS that it was a new console than the Wii U. Because the Wii U genuinely just looked like, oh cool, look at this cool Wii U add-on. This cool Wii add-on. Because that's what the marketing felt like. Where, so if they do a Switch, for the love of God Nintendo, call it Nintendo Switch 2. Don't do anything stupid like Nintendo Switch Revived or something like that. Don't do that. Don't recreate your own mistakes. And for the people that say naming the console Switch 2 will cause it to be less successful, first of all, the console is bound to be less successful than the Nintendo Switch. Let's be honest. But also, not necessarily. Like, the PlayStation 2 is the most successful console of all time. So just because the console has 2 in its name doesn't mean that it will be less successful than the first one. The only reason it will most likely be less successful for the 2.1 than the original Nintendo Switch is that the original Nintendo Switch is very fucking successful. Like, it is the 3rd most successful gaming platform. And if you go by like actual consoles, it's the 2nd most successful. Like, genuinely, it's bound to be less successful than the original Switch, no matter what they call it. They could literally, oh cool. They could literally release the perfect console that everyone loves, everyone wants to get, and it will still most likely not be as successful as the Nintendo Switch. That's just the reality of the situation that Nintendo's in. But the difference in naming it Nintendo Switch 2 and like Nintendo Switch U, I'm gonna stick with U because it's the easiest example. The biggest difference, like in naming the Switch, the next Switch as the Nintendo Switch 2 instead of naming it Nintendo Switch U, is that first of all, it didn't work with the Wii, so why would it work with the Switch? But also, like, if they name it Nintendo Switch 2, it will first of all get rid of the confusion on if it's a new console or an upgrade. Because, shit, wait a minute. If they call it Nintendo Switch 2, there's like no denying it's obviously a brand new console then, you know? Like there's no way it won't be a new console if it's literally named Nintendo Switch 2. If they want to be really dumb, they'll go they'll call it like new Nintendo Switch, like they did with the 3DS. But the difference is like they gave the it's not like if they obviously like naming it Switch 2, like I said, would get rid of the confusion of if it's like an actual new console or if it's just an add-on or something. But also, I feel like people would be more willing to buy it then. Like there's way less of a risk factor, which is like there's gonna be less of a risk factor to buying the Nintendo Switch 2 if you already had a Switch than if you're going to buy the Nintendo Switch when the last Nintendo console you owned was most likely the Wii. So there's that risk factor of, oh, I don't know how the console will be gone. It will just be another Nintendo Switch, you know? Like I think that's one of the reasons why the PlayStation is so successful. It's just that, not because it's like better than Xbox necessarily. I think they're pretty much the exact same console, to be honest. It's just that the fact that they're just named PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. Like people know what to expect from PlayStation. If you name your console, if they would have gone with like PlayStation 360, PlayStation 1, PlayStation Series Pro, like the PlayStation would have been way less successful than it is. And it's just simply because, oh, it's a PlayStation 4, it'll just be the new PlayStation. It's just a new PlayStation, it's that simple. And I think if Nintendo goes with Nintendo Switch 2, first of all, casual people will just be like, oh cool, it's another Nintendo Switch. There's less to worry about. I know what I'm getting into. But it also gets rid of that risk factor of, I don't know what to expect from this console. Like, what the hell is a Nintendo Switch revolution, you know? I feel like if they didn't make a Nintendo Switch 2 and they're just making an upgrade for it, and they just call it Nintendo Switch Pro, I think they'll just go straight past casuals. They will not give a fuck. It's the same with the PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro was great for actual like people that want to sit down and play games actively. But like I feel like most people that own a PlayStation just to play Call of Duty with their friends, they won't give a fuck about the PS4 Pro. And it will be the same with the Nintendo Switch. It's genuinely not worth the time in putting in a Pro version if you can just make a sequel. Because if with a sequel, you get to make more games. Like you get to make more games in like in the series instead of having to break your own rules of only this many games in a series per console. Like I genuinely thought, yeah, before Splatoon 3 was announced, I thought Splatoon was supposed to be a one game per console series, similar to Mario Kart. And like, to be fair, that streak was going for a pretty long time. Like Splatoon is not even that old. Splatoon 3, yeah, it's not even that old. So I was genuinely shocked when Splatoon 3 was announced, simply because I didn't expect them to release 2 Splatoon games on one console. Because in my head, it just kind of gets rid of the reason to buy Splatoon 2. And that's why Mario Kart only ever has one game per console. It's because if they were to release 2, what's the point of the first one then, right? Like Mario Party can get away with it because they've always been doing it. But in my head, it also makes more sense to only have one Mario Party per console. I only own one Mario Party per console. on each of my Nintendo consoles. I had Mario Party DS. I have Mario Party Island Tour, which, by the way, except the minigames are okay. But Jesus Christ, the board game mode of Mario Party Island Tour sucks ass. Like, it's genuinely terrible. But yeah, I own Mario Party Superstars on the Switch. And I don't own Super Mario Party because I'll be honest, it seemed kind of boring. But like, I don't know, I feel like one game per series for like these types of games, for like big replayable games, I think one per series is enough because they are so replayable. It's like, it's the opposite of Legend of Zelda, you know? Where Zelda typically has 2 games per console. There are exceptions, like I think the GameCube only has Wind Waker. But for, like, not including remakes, by the way. Like, not including remakes, the 3DS also only has a Link Between Worlds. But like, for the most part, like, most Nintendo consoles have 2 games in the Zelda series. The SNES only has 1 as well. The SNES only has a Link to the Past. Like, the NES had Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2. The Game Boy Advance had a fuck ton for some reason. Like, the Game Boy Advance had Minish Cap. It had like 4 Swords Adventure, didn't it? Both of them? Or only one of them, I'm not sure. Oh wait, no, the 3DS did have 2. It had Triforce Heroes. I keep forgetting about that one. The DS had Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. The Wii had Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Oh no, the GameCube also had 2. I keep forgetting Twilight Princess was on the GameCube. The Wii U technically only had half of a Zelda game. I mean, it's a full Zelda game, but it released the same day as it did on the Switch. And to be fair, the Breath of the Wild seems more like a Switch game than it does a Wii U game. Big Blue. Don't mind if I do. I can see my bitrate jump down by the thousands, but still be in the green. That's the advantage of having a max bitrate set really high, even if you can't stream with that high. It's just like, if it does go down, it's fine. Like, instead of being stuck to like a bitrate of 3000, my PC can go anywhere between 2500 and 4500, which is typically where the fluctuation is. But it's just like, it's set so the max bitrate is 6K. My bitrate could go up to 6K if it wants to. It just doesn't do that very often. I'm so excited about Mario Wonder. I recorded my reaction to that Nintendo Direct, but I never made anything wrong. I was going to do like a video and post it on MMatickz before I brought back the scripted videos, because I was thinking of just turning MMatickz into my everything else channel, you know? Like, I was thinking, oh, gaming videos on my main, and then whatever VODs on my VOD channel, obviously, and then post whatever else on my MMatickz. That could be a Nintendo Direct reaction, it could be like me creating a tier list on stream, anything. Just add it on MMatickz. Because to be fair, the channel name does imply that shit content, and it is, to be fair. But I do put in a bit more effort in now than I used to. Sorry for wasting those mushrooms, but the star was genuinely more useful to cut through there. But yeah, I have the recording of me reacting to Super Mario Wonder, and my reaction, I was genuinely shocked. I did not see that coming. Because I was saying, oh, we're gonna get a new 2D Mario for like forever. But I never believed it. I was more wishing than actually like thinking that it's gonna happen. Because in my head I was always like, oh, we're gonna get a brand new 2D Mario, it's gonna be so cool. But in my head I was always like, oh, it's gonna be a new Super Mario Bros. Game. But then I saw that the trailer happened, and I was genuinely like shocked, because I was already shocked about Super Mario RPG and like a brand new Princess Peach game, a Dark Moon remake of Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon remake. Apparently, Luigi's Mansion 1 is also going to be re-released on the Switch. Like, also going to be remastered. I guess if they change the graphics and like put it on like HD, it counts as a remaster. I don't know, that's a weird thing. Like re-release and remaster to me are the two that I get mixed up. Because remake to me is obviously if they rebuild the game from the ground up. Like the Super Mario RPG game that's releasing early next year, late this year, I'm not sure. Either way, Super Mario RPG, that will be a remake because they completely rebuilt the game. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is a remaster because they added all the DLC and shit. Same with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Also, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a remaster because they not just did they add all the DLC in, they also fixed battle modes. Like they took it and fixed it up a bit, but they didn't rebuild it from the ground up. So it's not a remake; it's a remaster. Well, like Resident Evil 4, the most recent one that I can think of, that was a remake because they completely remade the game, you know? Technically, FNAF VR is a remake of the classic FNAF games. Help Wanted, I think it was called. The FNAF VR game. In my head, it's just FNAF VR. But I don't know, if I talk to a FNAF fan about it and I say FNAF VR, they know what I mean. I got Bullet Bill in 5th. How far? Ray Yoshi is very far ahead, Jesus Christ. Oh god. I'm so used to going along the right there that I was ready to book it without a mushroom. By the way, sorry if I know I just said that I'm supposed to be good at this game because it's one of the few games I'm okay at. I'm playing dog shit, considering that I said that I'm good at this game. The difference is that when I'm playing it normally, I'm just sat there playing because I don't really necessarily talk to myself when playing a game. Which, believe it or not, is something I'm trying to do more often. When I just sit down and play a game, I try to just talk as if I'm talking with chat. I'm not necessarily trying as hard to be entertaining as I do normally, as I do when I'm on stream. It's just more of a... so I get into the habit more of like coming up with random topics while playing. I mean, it's been surprisingly easy playing Mario Kart. I mean, we've been streaming for like, what, almost an hour and I haven't shut up yet. That's a new record for me. I normally shut up by now. But now that I said it, my head is blank. We went from Nintendo Switch to... oh yeah, Mario Wonder. I'm so excited for Mario Wonder. I'm definitely gonna give that a big playthrough when it's out. Like, that's gonna be the first thing I do. October 20th. I'm gonna try to get it day one. I don't know if you can pre-order it yet. The minute pre-orders are open, I'm pre-ordering it. The problem is though that I want it physically, and I know getting it physically is a pain. Especially like if it's like a really hyped game. Like it's still impossible to get Tears of the Kingdom physically from like an actual game store because it's all sold out. So like that can be annoying. But I genuinely think Super Mario Wonder is the most excited I've ever been for a game. I'm trying to think of an example when else I was really hyped. I was hyped when Miitopia released because I was like, oh, Tomodachi Life, but as an adventure game. But that was kind of it. It was more of like a intrigue than an actual hype. Where like I'm genuinely like looking forward to playing it. I was hyped for Tears of the Kingdom, but not as hyped as for Mario Wonder. I still am hyped for Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't played it yet. I don't own it yet. I was gonna wait until I figured the streaming Nintendo thing out because I wanted to play it on stream. But I feel like now I reached the point when no one gives a fuck about Tears of the Kingdom anymore. So I generally could just like play in my free time. But we'll see what happens. I still need to finish my South Park project first. For those that are wondering what the South Park project is, I'm currently editing a video because on stream I played through the entirety of South Park: Stick of Truth, which is the first time that I actually finished a project on stream. Like, I started, like, I played Undertale, Psychonauts, Crash Bandicoot, and South Park: Stick of Truth. Those are the, and FNAF Sister that gave me. Those are the, like, playthroughs I started, and Stick of Truth is the only one I actually finished. It took 7 months because I had a 6-month stream break in the middle of it. But I actually finished it because I was hyped to actually finish it. The thing is, if I do Tears of the Kingdom, what you can expect is me to like play it a lot for like a week or two, and then to not touch it for a month, and then to be really into it again for a week. Because that's just how my brain was with Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games. That doesn't mean I dislike the game, it just means I'm scatterbrained. Which, to be fair, that's how I play most games. That's how it was with GTA 5. It took me until 2023 to beat the GTA 5 story completely. I've gotten very close many times, I found out, while doing that though. Like, I was surprised by how close to the game ending I was multiple times. Like in my head I was always like, on my Xbox 360 and on my Xbox One, every time I started getting into the story, I always reset it every time I got back into it, because like, it's hard to get back into something that you're already like halfway through and haven't touched in a month, you know? And it is for me. And that's one of the reasons why long time video projects are scary for me. Because I always fear that like there'll be a day or two where I'm not as excited about it. And then it causes like a domino effect of like days where I just don't touch the project. And my worry is always that if that happens, the video might just never happen. And that's kind of my worry with the South Park Stick of Truth video right now. Because I got about half of the first stream edited, and there's 6 of them. So I've only been editing for a day though. I typically edit 1 full section a day. Because I don't like just doing... I say typically, but I didn't this time. Because I had to edit an entire intro and everything. But like, I don't know if other people have this. But for some reason, I can't do half. I physically, mentally won't let myself do half of a project in one day. I have to do it all at once or nothing at all, and that's a problem. Especially with me wanting to make really, like, the bad thing about that is that I can be a perfectionist at times, especially when it comes to video editing, which is ironic considering how bad I am at it. So whenever I edit videos, like, I have this like perfectionist need to to add like the perfect effects to every occasion, to never miss a joke timing wise, to add everything important into the video, and to have everything highlighted in a specific way. Not necessarily like hyper edited, but just like for the point of, for the sake of clarity, like, so like everyone's aware of what's going on. But I'm also like both really impatient, and I have this need to, like, when I start something, to also finish it, which is a problem. Because it means that I often just don't start doing stuff. Which is one of the things I enjoy about streaming. I can just sit down, play for a few hours, and then that's it. I don't have to do like another like 5 hours of extra work. Because if I do decide to edit a stream, in my head, editing down a stream and streaming a stream are two different jobs. Like, it's weird. In my head, it's like, oh, live streaming one day, and then editing is like this whole other thing. But for me, like, recording, well, same with recording, to be fair. Like, I don't have to like record and edit and everything in the same day, but I do have to edit the entire thing in one day, like in one sitting, which is a problem that I have to work on. For the most part, it's fine, because for the most part, I only do short videos. But it can be annoying. By the way, one guy here, and I have the weird feeling that's the Black Yoshi, has 66,000. Yeah, it's the Black Yoshi. Has 66,000 points. I have 100 hours in this game, and I have about 6,800. Bro's been playing for at least 1,000 hours, dude. That's wild. But yeah, I'm just happy to finally be able to do some Nintendo things, because I had like video ideas for a while now, and like project ideas that I could do on Twitch that I never had the equipment to do. Well, I did, but I never had the knowledge on how to use that equipment. But now I do. Now I know what I'm doing. And now I also don't have a limit anymore on like, oh, I can't do this because my PC can't handle that, because I can just use my Xbox now. It's an Xbox One, and it's a very cheap power supply, because I remember my original power supply broke, because my Xbox One was a hand-me-down from my dad, because he got I think he got an Xbox One X, so I got his old like normal Xbox One, and where was I heading? Yeah, my power supply broke at one point, so my granddad was like, "It's fine, I'll get you, I'll buy you a new one. They're cheap." And in my head I was like, "Yeah, they're only like 15 quid. They're not that expensive." And then he says, "Oh, I found one for free quid." It's like, oh wow, that's very cheap. That's like suspiciously cheap. And then he said, "Yeah, it's on Wish." So it's still working though. Like, that's the only time I've ever been, my granddad ever got anything from Wish that lasted longer than a month. That wasn't clothing. Like, that's the only tech-related thing I've ever bought off Wish Well, I didn't buy it, my granddad did. That's the only tech related thing we ever bought off Wish that didn't like instantly break. Come on, I want to play. Oh, I'm really good at SNES Rainbow Road because I tried to speedrun it for a while. I put speedrun in quotes. I want to see how fast I could beat it without using any like official speedrun strats because I don't know them. I just kind of try to do it as fast as I know. Actually, I want to see how fast can I be. How fast can I do SNES Rainbow Road? Single player. Time trials. Keep Kamek. Might as well. SNES Rainbow Road was in here, right? No. There it is. I don't need a ghost. I haven't done this in a while. I have no clue what I'll be doing because it's been a while since I tried this. But yeah, I try-harded this map on time trials for like a week, just because like I wanted to like get good at the game, and in my head it was like, oh yeah, SNES Rainbow Road, that's like the most skill-based Mario Kart 8 track, right? It might be, I don't know. All I know is that I basically learned the fastest way for me to beat this track. That was very close. But I keep fucking up those like mini ramp jumps that the bombs give you. Because I can't hit them for the life of me. There we go. But yeah, basically you want to not get any of those ramps, because if you do, I have problems getting this ramp. Which is like, that ramp is significantly faster than going around. And now I use the mushroom. I swear I used to be good at this. Okay, that's I just saw how much input delay I have. I can literally see the input delay, that's annoying. You can't see it because you can't see my controller, but look, pay close attention. I let go and it jumps. I didn't mean to do that. I fucked myself over, I think. Yep. Let me restart. I want to get one good run, then we can go back to Mario Kart Online, I promise. I think I did most of these runs with Mario in his standard bike, so I have like no like skewed stats by using specific characters or specific vehicle combination. I'm reverting to my old ways. I did this a lot of Mario Kart 7 as well. Like, I have no reason to like this track as much as I do. I just really like it for some reason. That was a terrible corner. I took that corner terribly. I am throwing already. Oh my god. I don't know how I managed to throw so much in like 2 corners, but I did. I don't remember what my record is. It's probably something that I will never beat, because I was like addicted to playing this track perfectly. See, that was a terrible corner. There we go. Yeah, fuck it. Never mind. Not doing that again. Honestly, what is my record though? I just want to kind of know what it is. Like under speed. No. There it is. You see the Mario? 138. That's my record. I don't know if that's good or not. I know it's good for me, and I felt sick when I did that. because that was the first time I actually like sweated something in a game and felt myself progressively get better at it. Because something that I would have usually done every single game, now I'm like, oh, that's shit. Which is like the most normal thing for someone who's good at a game to say. Like, you do something completely normal. Oh, that was a terrible play. Let's see. A lot of British people. Only 2 French. Will I outplace the French people? That's the question. I'm kind of regretting not having made myself so much to drink before the stream, because now my throat is really getting to me. Actually, I should probably take. Nah, I don't wanna start feeling sick. I mean, while this is loading, I might as well get myself something to drink now. So enjoy that as I get myself something to drink. Yep. Kinda expected this to be the case. Kinda expected to come back to this. Did I just... I pulled out my headphones. There we go. Put that there, my drink. But yeah, I just got myself a drink. Sorry, but my throat was drying out a ridiculous amount. But yeah, I kind of expected to come back to an error code. Okay, that's annoying. I can't hear the game now. Bro, I hate this so much. Oh wait, no, that was the video capture, and that was the wrong one. Advanced audio properties. It's set so I can hear it, but I can't hear it. I hate this so much. Oh, my capture card is over here is very warm. But wait up, give me a sec. This will turn off the... It didn't, surprisingly. I pulled out the HDMI card. It should have stopped recording. It's just straight up still recording. What the hell? Okay. Didn't know that that was a thing. Apparently I don't need all those cables. Why can't I hit? Hey! I can hear. There we go. By the way, do you guys like my me? It's a very nice me. It looks so much like me. Which is, to be fair, it's what it's supposed to do. Let's see how long we have to spectate. Normally not too long. Reses aren't that long. Lap 2. Okay. Jenny in third. Fourth. We have a Link player in first. Broccoli 69. Oh wait, is this 200 CCM? No, that's 50. That's 150. Oh, is it? It's 150, right? I actually can't tell. That footage was not helping at all. I think it's 150. But again, Mario Kart feels slower when watching it than when you're playing it. Dude, that guy fell off quickly. Why does this me look like my old science teacher? Daniela. She got, I think, did she get overtaken last minute by the Yoshi? Anyway. Oh, Big Blue or Peach's Gardens. Did we have Peach's Gardens yet? I don't think we've seen it yet. We've already seen Big Blue. But yeah, look at my Mii. It looks so much like me. I actually had a video planned about Mii's for MMatickz. And I wasn't sure if I was going to call it like the death of the Mii's or how Nintendo killed the Mii's or something like that. But also one idea I had was the death of me. As in like the death of me, but it's about Mii's. I don't know, it's stupid anyway, but it's a very overdone topic, which is the problem. That's the problem I have, which is that I don't necessarily get video ideas. Well, I do, but when I look it up, there's always going to be content about it. That's just how it's like to be, like, I don't have the best knowledge of video games, so there's bound to be people that have already discussed topics like years ago that I only just found out about. Not necessarily the Mii thing. Like, the Mii thing was something that I've noticed probably before people started talking about it. Like, pretty much when the Switch released, I was like, why the fuck is why are the Mii's hidden in the menus? Like, that genuinely confused me. And then as time went on, there was barely any, if any, Mii representation in the Switch games. I think Miitopia was the thing that gave me hope. Like when Miitopia re-released, was remastered, I was like, ah, that's cool. They're actually gonna start using the Mii's again. They haven't. I think Nintendo Switch Sports was kind of like the nail in the coffin that made people notice that the coffin was there in the first place. You know? I'm trying to use like an example. I think nail in a coffin that made people notice that the coffin was there is a very bad analogy. But I'm trying to, like, it was, for the people that cared, it was obvious already that like the Mii's, except for like Miitopia, have just barely been used at all on the Switch. And Nintendo Switch Sport is what made the people that didn't necessarily really care that much about Mii's realize, wait a minute, why are there new Mii's in this? Because even for people that don't necessarily care for Mii's, it's still just the Nintendo Switch version of Wii Sports. Even they noticed the lack of Mii's in it, you know? Because I remember before Switch Sports release, I was watching a German streamer called Let's Play Marcos. He was playing, it doesn't matter what he was playing, but he was playing a random ass retro game, so I don't know why I was about to mention that. It was like a DuckTales retro game, not DuckTales, it was like Daffy Duck. It was a SNES game about a cartoon duck, but it wasn't DuckTales. Either way, I mentioned to him in chat, like, hey, have you noticed that the Switch barely uses Mii's? Do you have an idea why that could be? Do you think... in my head it was Nintendo wants to get away from this kid image that they had during the Wii U times. Which for the most part I think they did pretty well. But it's also... it could have also just been me reading into it. Because in my head it could have also just been like, they just didn't have any ideas. But specifically it was the fact that the things were hidden. And this wasn't that long ago, this was like 2 years ago. It was just before... It was before Nintendo Switch Sports was announced. And I mentioned like, hey, have you noticed the Mii's are barely a thing anymore? Like, they're very hidden and barely used. And when they are used, they're like little bits like here in America. But then again, that's a Wii U game, right? So... And the streamer was like, yeah, they could be used more often, but I wouldn't necessarily use the word hidden. Where people in the chat were like, how are they barely being used? I was like, dude, were you around during the days of the 3DS and the Wii? They were used for everything. Now they're not even in their own video game franchise, but just sports games. Like the Nintendo Switch Sports, Wii Sports franchise. They're not even in that, well, they are in that, but it's like just the heads, which looks very strange. I don't mind, actually. I don't mind having the heads on the chibi character designs of the Nintendo Switch Sports. It's just like a little bit that you need to get used to seeing. But I think it's perfectly fine. Because like the Miis in Mario Kart, they don't look like they did in Wii Sports. So don't necessarily mind having the bodies be different with a Mii head, like the chibi Wii Sports, Nintendo Switch Sports characters. I don't mind it that much with a Mii head. It's just like, it takes a minute to get used to. But again, I haven't played Nintendo Switch Sports yet. I didn't see a reason in buying it. Because... what's it called? I've only ever seen it over video compression on the internet. So it could just be that it looks worse in person. Like if you actually play the game, than it does in videos. But I never really saw the problem. Like, yeah, it's different. I get that. It's not the same. And it kind of feels more like an afterthought than an actual like, oh look, but you can also be a Mii. It feels more like an afterthought to just stick their head on top of already existing character models. But I don't know, I never really thought about it too much. There's a surprising amount of Nintendo Switch games that when they were announced I was like really interested in, but for the most part I tend to like give them a bit because well, Switch games are expensive. Video games in general are expensive. So I was always like, I'll wait until like the first few like reviews by like YouTubers that I like start coming in, and then see if I consider it to be worth spending money on that. Specifically, like the Completionist is one I really like. I don't complete games by any means. Like I think I do not have the patience for that. I tried it once, I just couldn't do it. What was it? I tried achievement hunting Bedrock Edition on my Xbox, but I just did not have the patience for that. Even though I played Minecraft all the time, I got like 90% of the achievements just by playing and doing random ass shit with my friends. But it's like the really specific things that you never gotta just unlock by not thinking about it. But yeah, I always watch the Completionists when games come out. And also the German channel Ulti, who does very similar videos, but not from a completionist sense, but just from like a casual player's view. So you get like the two sides of the same coin, and if both of them are like it's fine, don't, then I'm normally like, okay, I'll probably not like it. Like Mario Strikers, for example, the new one. Again, I don't even have the nostalgia towards the old Strikers games because I never played them. So while other people could still enjoy it for being a Strikers game, for me it would be my first Mario Strikers experience. So I wouldn't necessarily have anything to base it off, you know? But yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to do some Nintendo Switch content. It stops me from playing the same games over and over again, you know? Because I have a few Switch games. A few of them are even games that I intended to beat, but I never ended up doing it. Like, for the love of me, like, I cannot get into Mario Sunshine, so maybe if I stream it, maybe it will help. Like doing a complete Mario 3D All-Stars playthrough could be fun. Because like, I know I talked shit about Mario 64 in one of my videos. I made a whole video on why I'm not very keen on Mario 64. But the whole video basically boiled down to people treat it as a masterpiece when in reality it's just a kind of scuffed game. But a lot of people also just say that it's input delay from having a modern screen. And I didn't check it. I was gonna take their word for it that that's an option. Because they said if you play on a CRT TV or if you play around with your like TV settings, you don't have that problem. Because like modern games are built with this input delay, but because it's just normal on this, like it's just delay on the screen, not on the game. So they build the game around that like input. Jesus Christ! I didn't get any of those jumps. Because modern games are built around having. Because modern games are built around having that input delay. They were like, oh yeah, if you play on a CRT TV on the original 64, it's less floaty and clunky than on the Switch, because apparently Nintendo always butchers Mario 64 remixes. But in my head, I was just thinking like, I thought the only like I heard people complain about the Mario 64 Nintendo Switch 3D All Stars or whatever, but I thought it was because they got rid of BLJs. Like they used the fixed version, where they fixed all the bugs and glitches. I still think they were lazy. They could have definitely added full screen if they wanted to. But yeah, for the most part, I still think Mario 64 is a good game, and I said that much in the video as well. I just kind of think it's a bit clunky. And Mario Sunshine, I tried to get into it, I just can't. Like I watched the whole like Let's Play to it, like I don't really watch Let's Plays anymore, except for this one guy, who is my go-to Let's Play guy, and it's mainly out of nostalgia. Like every time there's like a new Mario game, I always go to him, and he still posts like Mario Kart videos where he just like talks about shit. It's like his version of a podcast. So I always like listen to that as background audio, his Mario Kart episodes. But like I watched his Mario Sunshine Let's Play, and I enjoyed that. It's just when it comes to actually playing the game, Mario Sunshine, I get so drained for some reason. And it's not the same as like, oh, I get drained from playing an RPG. Like I got drained playing Undertale, but that was because, first of all, if there's one thing you should know about me, I'm terrible at reading out loud. Like I'm already terrible at reading normally. Like I misread a lot. That's one of the reasons I don't necessarily read much. It's because I always lose track of where I am on the page. So when I have to like read out loud, I end up mumbling to myself, which already isn't great as a Twitch streamer. But I also just end up like just reading things wrong, like completely. And I first really noticed when looking back at my VOD, or like when editing the VOD down. I'm not even dyslexic. I'm just, I don't know if it's because I'm reading it out loud that I'm more concerned about getting it right. That's more of a psychological thing. Because normally I read no problem, it's just for some reason the minute I start reading out loud, my brain just turns off. Especially on stream. But yeah, Mario Sunshine, what I meant with that it drains me is that I tried to get into it because the game always looked really cool to me. But then I actually play it and it's like, oh my god, it's so rough. Like Mario 64 is clunky, but it's manageable, right? Like, okay, you get like frustrating points, like the slides. If you're not used to controls of Mario 64, the slides are very rough, but manageable, right? Mario Sunshine is genuinely a slog to get used to. I think the furthest I ever got in Mario Sunshine was beating the first world and getting started on the second one. And then I was like, I want to play Mario Galaxy instead. So I played all of Mario Galaxy. I was like, oh, this game is perfect. And then I went back to Mario 64 and I was like, Jesus Christ. Some of you know what I mean. But yeah, for those that are wondering, my favorite Mario game is Mario Odyssey. It's very close between Mario Odyssey and Galaxy, but I think Mario Odyssey just about takes the cake. And I don't know if it's because Mario Galaxy has all the content to it, but Mario Odyssey is just more fun in my opinion. Oh great, I can't hit the game. I accidentally oh shit. My headphone port, by the way, my PC. For those who are wondering why this happens a lot on stream, by the way. My headphone port on my PC is low-key broken. So I have to my headphones need to be in a specific angle to work. So because of that, if I lift my legs in a certain way, my headphones will just be registered as not being plugged in, which is a little annoying, as you could imagine. Which is why I kept having this problem that I can't hear the game, because you can set it on OBS that you can hear the noises sound from a specific point. So basically all the game sounds I'm hearing over OBS instead of over the Switch, and I basically just have OBS open and I'm just playing on OBS. Well, I am playing on the Switch, but I'm playing it, I'm watching it on OBS. So every time I lean in the wrong way, or I lift my leg and I pull the cable of my headphones, all the audio just turns off, and it's normally not a problem, but for some reason I just can't get comfortable today. I can hear it now. Let's go N64 Rainbow Road. I don't think we played it yet. It's my favorite track in the game. I think I'll also most likely end after this, because yeah, it's been a short stream, but this was just kind of a short test stream anyway. I started stream 2 hours before 2 hours after I normally do. But considering that I was basically just playing around with my settings on OBS, and I found out that I can do this, my brain immediately went, I have to stream, test stream, see how good it runs. It's gonna be fun editing this mod thumbnail. I guess I also got a chance to vent about Nintendo shit, which I oftentimes don't get the chance to do. Because I kinda, for the most part, want to try to stick to the topic at hand. Like, not always, obviously, like if a topic pops up, I won't stop myself from talking about it. But it's just like, if I'm playing a Nintendo game, my head is more likely to think of Nintendo stuff than like Minecraft, for example. Like I mentioned GTA a bunch of times on PlayStation and Xbox. But also, like, if I'm like playing Minecraft, for example, on stream, like I'm playing Minecraft minigames, I don't want to randomly just like start rambling about the new Nintendo Direct, you know? I basically just want to get my thoughts out about some of the games. And also, this is the perfect map in my opinion to end on, because it's literally my favorite map in the entire game. So yeah, now you also know that I will definitely be streaming Mario Kart when Wave 6 releases. No! I wanted to get top 3 in my favorite map. I'm not even gonna get top 5 at this rate. Yes! No, never mind. I'm not gonna do well. Man, that's unfortunate. Alright. It did it again. It did it again. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm giving it one more chance. One more chance for my Mario Kart 7 Rainbow Road. Okay, this is the last race. We had all of the rainbow roads, except for the bad one. This is definitely gonna be the end. I think this might be the stream. Yeah, it's a short one, but this might be the stream where I had the best commentary. Like, I managed to just, for the most part, talk non-stop for like 90 minutes. I'd be like, sat here just like this for about half of the streams normally. But I'm doing surprisingly well today. Probably it's because I had a bunch of like Nintendo stuff that I wanted to get off my chest anyway. Mainly like Mario. I still haven't mentioned what I wanted to say about Mario Wonder. When the E3 trailer released, not the E3 trailer, the Nintendo Direct trailer, when it like started playing, first of all I was very shocked because I always said, oh, we're gonna get a 2D Mario game, but I never really believed it. And even if I thought it would be a new Super Mario Bros. Game, or a new Super Mario Bros. Like collection, I didn't think that we'd actually get like a 2D Mario, brand new one, with a unique art style and like new shit in it, right? Like there's not even it's not even in the Mushroom Kingdom. It looks so good, dude. like the art style is beautiful. Elephant Mario, need I say more? I will definitely, like I mentioned, like this I did mention, I will definitely play it on stream. And I think it will be very hype. So yeah, look forward to Nintendo content in the future, especially Mario games, because I have like some plans for Mario Odyssey that I could potentially maybe do one day. But yeah. Yeah. Let's go here. Ugh. No, that's the wrong. There we go. Like, look forward to Nintendo content in the future. You can't hear it. Look forward to Nintendo content in the future. I'm very excited about making it. So yeah, considering this was just a test stream, it went on for longer than I expected it to be. So yeah, I'll see you lot in the next stream and a video. Until then, goodbye.